All right, so thanks for that tour of your studio. And now maybe you could introduce yourself a bit more.
Oh, okay. So, hi everybody. My name is Alex Negrea. I'm a concept artist and illustrator from Romania. I started drawing like in around April 2009.
Really? That's when you
Yeah.
started? So you
Before
never
that,
drew when you were young.
um, only in classes at school, and that was once a week or so.
Hmm.
But yeah, I've been trained in mathematics and informatics. I even did 1 year of college of mathematics and informatics. That was in 2008. And I realized that that's not for me. And I switched careers all of a sudden. It was a very terrifying move. Uh, I actually made my parents were a bit upset on me because I kicked all the career I was building before that
So how
away.
did you make
So
that decision then? Because that's a pretty big change from mathematics to art. I mean,
uh, I wasn't happy, uh, and I was trying very hard to learn and be very good at mathematics or informatics, but it was not for me. So yeah, I found out that one friend of mine, a very good friend of mine, was going to go to a design school, and I
hmm
said, "Okay, I'm gonna not subscribe. I don't know what's the word. I'm gonna go there too, also."
enroll, right?
Yeah, enroll. And yeah, I didn't have a portfolio. Fortunately, the school didn't require one, so it was like whatever. We accept everybody, and I was like, oh, cool. But I was very scared. I thought everybody draws like super well, but actually there were a lot of beginners, and that gave me a lot of confidence in the beginning. Um, but in the long run, I'd wish there were many good artists in that school because if you're not surrounded by people who motivate you, it's very hard to learn. So I was one of the few ones that they were trying to learn something and not enjoy like the college years.
hmm
I was staying at school like 8 or 9 hours a day and drawing almost all the time because I had that fear in me. I already failed in life with one college and now I have to do something else. And because my parents will not be will not gonna be able to support me the all the life. Like
Right. So this is a design school, right?
yeah, I did. Um, I don't remember the word. It's product design, graphic design, fashion design, and um house decorations or something like that. Those were my specialities when I began. But as you were moving towards the end of the school, you would have to stick with one choice, and I chose product design because I fell in love with Scott Robertson and with his drawings. And yeah, back then I really started like watching a lot of tutorials, learning about all these great artists. And yeah, Scott Robertson was I think the first one who influenced me to draw more and be more a more studious person.
Right. So product design is designing just everyday objects.
Vehicles, yeah, vehicles, furniture, I don't know, mice, speakers, stuff like that. Yeah.
Cool. So were you pretty good with perspective then?
In school, no. Perspective is a very hard thing to learn, and even now I'm not sure I know perspective like properly. But yeah, thanks to again to Scott Robertson, it made it easier to me to learn it. So in 2 or 3 years, I think I learned a lot about perspective and how it works. So yeah, I really enjoyed his tutorials and they really helped me a lot.
Okay.
It's
Oh, sorry.
yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say that it's the perfect tutorial. I have like a bunch of artists that influence me a lot, and it's Vilpu for anatomy, Scott Robertson for perspective, uh, and Hannes for like the will to improve and stuff like that. So yeah.
All right. So, okay, so I'm just trying to get the timeline straight. So when you were growing up, were you interested in art? Were you watching a lot of TV or comics, or how
Uh,
is that?
I remember I was buying Batman comics when I was young, but unfortunately there are not a lot of comic readers in Romania,
Mm-hmm.
and they weren't available anymore because they didn't have a market for comics here. So I was left only with cartoons on Cartoon Network. I was watching Two Stupid Dogs, Ed, Edd and Eddy, Cow and Chicken. So yeah, those were my cartoon days. But yeah, otherwise, like I said, only in school when I had a class I was drawing. I wasn't doing as a hobby drawing. I played guitar as a hobby when I was a kid.
Nice.
But yeah, I think I've always been attracted to these artistic domains.
So
And yeah,
so did you graduate from school then, from university?
yeah, because I don't know, I wanted to make my parents happy because they were pretty, especially my father was a bit upset on me
Mm-hmm.
because I quit the other university, and I wanted to show them that uh, okay, I have a diploma. It doesn't matter at all that I have a diploma in this industry, but yeah, that diploma made them happy. Like,
Right. And then
so yeah.
after that, what happened? So where'd you go after school?
After school, before finishing school, I was supposed to finish school in I don't remember what year exactly. um, well, I started working for Gameloft in 2011. So yeah, I was supposed to finish school in summer of 2011, but in the winter of 2011, in January, I received an email from Gameloft Romania if I want to work for them. They've seen my work online, and yeah, I said, of course, I want to work for you guys. And I went, I got the interview, and then I went back at school and explained the situation to the teachers that, look, I have a good paid job. For Romania, it was a very well paid job. And they understood, and they let me go work in Bucharest because I was studying in Timișoara, and Timișoara is in the exact opposite corner of the of the country, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And they understood, and they let me go work, and all I have to do is return and uh, do my diploma paper, like take the exam. And I did that. Like I got hired and I started working. I improved a lot since I started working for Gameloft. Uh, there were no excuses not to draw stuff because I was paid to do work and I had to perform for those money. And yeah, I improved a lot. Like, I think back then I realized that I was really slacking before having a job. At a job, you're not allowed to slack. You have to perform and work hard for your money. And
So what's the difference in terms of, how much you were working before and after you got the job?
before I was working at around 6 hours a day
Mm-hmm.
uh, by myself. Like I'm talking about personal stuff because school stuff wasn't very attractive to me. There were like the assignments weren't that great. We have to make compositions with dots and stuff like that, for example. And I think I will leave that to the abstract artists. I was interested in learning anatomy and perspective. And again, I forgot the question. Can you repeat it
Right.
if you
Yeah.
have
So,
question?
yeah. So I was asking,
Oh
what
yeah,
the difference
I
was
remember.
between.
Yeah. So yeah, I was working for myself around 6 hours a day, practicing, studying anatomy and stuff like that. And at work, I was drawing for 8, close to 9 hours at first in the first 3 months because I really wanted to keep the job. In the first 3 months, you are on probation, so they can fire you if they don't like you, you know. And I really wanted to make a good impression, so I was working very hard. I didn't even take the lunch breaks, and I was also sitting there after the program for another half an hour to finish my tasks. So yeah,
So
and they were very happy with me, and yeah, so I improved my drawing schedule with 3 hours in that time, and after work I was practicing at home also because I really wanted, like, badly to show them how motivated I am to work for them and stuff like that.
so what
Probably
happened
10
about
hours
sleep?
a day. Sleep became a problem, so I cut down hours from it. I had a while when I was sleeping 6 hours a night.
Mm-hmm.
I was waking up at 6 o'clock a.m.
Mm-hmm.
and doing. Some of you, like, of the future viewers of this video, might remember those times. I was waking up at 6 a.m. and did a live stream for an hour, a warm up before work, and after that I was going to work. And when I came back, I was doing commissions and stuff like that. Uh,
So you're just
but
working like crazy.
yeah, back then I discovered the Crimson Daggers, and um, I was at the right place at the right time. They were just starting the Golden Boys. For those who do not know, it's a online competition based on studies and things you can learn in 1 month by studying very hard. And I saw, I remember when I saw Sam Carr's entry in those Golden Boys, and man, then I got really motivated, and I said, gotta get better than this guy and, like, beat him in the next Golden Boy. He had, like, a crazy amount of studies and applied studies. It was crazy. Like, it blew my mind, literally.
Right. So
Yeah.
I want to talk about that actually. I want to talk about the studies because you do a lot of studies. And
Yeah, because I'm not very smart. I don't remember things very well, so I have to do it like a monkey, repeat it like a lot of times, so I can remember a certain thing. Because if you're doing a study like just to copy colors, I mean, it's okay if you're trying to learn colors, trying to copy colors, but after a while you realize that you have to learn how the world works and try to learn why it looks like that, or why it stitched like that, or things like that, you know. And copying and making pretty pictures doesn't work anymore. You have to understand what's behind those things, and I'm trying very hard to understand those things now. Like, I think this is the next step of learning. Before I was copying, like, mindlessly pictures
right.
and calling them studies, even though I wasn't learning anything, like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, I wasn't learning anything in particular except by that using Photoshop really well. So yeah, they were good for learning the tool, but I wasn't learning composition, colors, design, theory, or stuff like that.
So
Yeah.
let's talk about that a bit. About what's the difference between mindless copying and actually studying.
Um, Actually, mindless copying made me not do live streams anymore. Uh, I I realized that I was doing a lot of work, but I wasn't remembering anything. That was because I was talking to other people on live stream in the same time. I wasn't paying attention to the study. I was I was an automated pilot, or how do you call that? Like, my brain was, like, drawing by itself, and I was thinking that's something else, you know.
Right.
And yeah, drawing all alone, like focusing on your study, makes you remember much more from that study. You pay more attention. Some people say that, for example, music, it's bad to listen to it while drawing. Uh, yeah, I kind of agree with that. I had a time when I wasn't listening to music while studying because I got carried away and I was thinking at the song instead of thinking at the study. But after a while, I started listening to music again because I don't know, sitting so much in the chair, now my back hurts and I need to focus at something else while drawing, you know. So yeah, I developed a back problem, and I hope I will fix that by swimming and doing lots of workouts. But yeah, now I need to focus on something else also, and I choose music because music doesn't steal all your focus from the study.
Right.
And yeah, again, I jumped from question to I don't
No,
know how.
that's totally fine. Another thing I noticed about your studies is you actually take notes.
Yeah, notes actually make you. Sometimes you think you're studying something very hard, but again, your brain is thinking that something else, and you don't realize that. But taking the time to write down, you force your brain to pay attention. Like, have I seen this thing before? If yes, then it's a pattern. So I'm gonna write it down. Like this shape happens from time to time in these areas. For example, I gave you some studies before we talked with the tigers, and we were talking about the tigers yesterday. And I took tiger heads and tried to observe repeating patterns on their heads. For example, they have a W thick black lip under their underlip is a big W shape, black W shape. Uh, Under the eye, they have a white stripe followed by a dark thin black stripe and stuff like that. I try to remember these things, and uh, for everyone who tries to understand what I'm saying right now, maybe Sycra will put some of the studies
Oh yeah.
on the video, so you will see exactly my notes,
Oh,
why
it's all
what I'm
happening
paying
right
attention
now.
to.
It's happening.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't worry about it.
Oh yeah, those are the stuff, proportion stuff. I'm trying to pay attention. For example, once I studied a crocodile, and I was trying to observe it. It has some curvatures on his. I don't know how to call its mouth. There are three curvatures, and around the third curvature, it's the eye. So it's very easy to remember those notes. Than remembering an entire picture. Like you study perfectly of a crocodile, but after a while, this information will go away. But if you go back to these studies and read them again, you will remember stuff. I was just looking over some of the images that I sent to Sycra, and uh, I'm supposed to draw something with fur right now. And um, basically, once I did a study of fur, and it was white fur and black fur in the same image, and it was snowy. And basically, you can see the snow on the dark side of the fur, but that doesn't occur to you until you write it down. So if I'm drawing something that it's in snow and it has dark fur, I can make snow sitting on its fur. Like it will probably get snow on it, you know. And I'm trying to decipher all this stuff that happen in nature, like with this kind of studies, you know. And writing down definitely helps me remember.
Now, recently you did something which I don't know. I guess some people would consider crazy. You did 2,000 hand studies. How was that?
Yeah. Again, the fear of looking bad made me do that. Like sometimes I really feel bad about my drawings, and I know what the problem is, but I'm too afraid to tackle it. But before, why I did this 2,000 hands? Because at the workshop, I was the Behind the Iron Curtain workshop that happened this September. I was supposed to do some drawings for a few friends, and I didn't know how to draw hands. Still, after 4 years of drawing, And I said to myself, okay, so how am I gonna learn to draw hands? Obviously by drawing. So I set a goal to draw 3,000 hands till the end of the month, but that was not possible. It was like 100 hands a day.
Wow.
So and that takes 4 hours. It's only line art, but I learned so much by doing those 100 hands. In the first day, I probably didn't learn anything. It was the hardest day. Also, the last day of the studies was very hard because I lost my uh, will to learn. I got very tired of seeing hands,
Yeah, I could
but
imagine.
yeah, I really learned a lot, like patterns. There are patterns in the hands, you know. Um, I don't know uh, what patterns I remember. For example, if you look at your palm and you bend it, it bends almost in the half. It's not bending where the fingers are, and that's very freaky when you notice that. Um, so yeah, most people think when they look at the palm that the fingers bend where the fingers start. So yeah, look at
Right.
your palm and bend it. It bends in half. It looks like your hand is broken. So yeah, those things like pop out after a while. Like the index finger and the ring finger are the same height. So if you draw one, then the other one is very easy to draw and stuff like that.
Right. So I mean, it's one thing to listen to you and you'll say about how you did these studies, but I guess a question I'm curious about is how do you do the study in terms of how do you keep motivated? How do you stop from going crazy after drawing all these hands?
Uh,
How do you stay
I
awake?
I don't know. I really like to do quality work, and I'm trying very hard with these studies. And I mean, I want to be a top artist someday, and this motivates me. I mean, um, I also listen to a lot of motivational speeches and music, and I recently bought all the Rocky collection. That movie motivates me a lot. Uh, so yeah, those kinds like I really like seeing other people succeed in their domain. It motivates me, even though it's not drawing. Rocky is a boxer, a fictional boxer, but still like makes me wanna push as hard as I can. Also, real life people who did already did this make me very motivated, like Hannes, Dave, Sam, and a lot of other guys. Uh, it's crazy. Like when you see somebody pushing hard, you want to be like him. And I'm really thankful that I found these people. I was again born in the right time because if it wasn't for the internet and meeting all you awesome people, uh, I wouldn't be here. Like it would be have been impossible to switch my career from mathematics to design. Like I'm
Well,
sure.
I think I mean you put in the work, so um, so going back to the your story, we left off that you were in Gameloft. So, how long did that last, and why did you leave?
Mm, well, I never thought I'm gonna leave Gameloft. I was like very happy in the beginning, but after a while, like doing jobs, I mean, there were fun jobs and there were not so fun jobs. Like doing textures, I really hate doing textures. User interface design and stuff like that. Those are like, I mean, they might be attractive for graphic artists or texture artists, but for me they weren't very satisfying. So after a while, I got tired of those, and uh, besides working at Gameloft, I was doing also freelance. And I said to myself, okay, the as soon as I'm gonna earn double the money I'm earning at Gameloft 3 months in a row, I'm gonna quit my job. And that's what happened. I was earning much more by sitting at home and drawing, like freelance stuff. Um, Then like I was working like 4 hours a day on freelance stuff every day after work. So yeah, like it's not compared. Working 9 hours and getting less paid than working 4 hours. You know what I mean? Like
Right, right.
it's not it's not healthy because yeah. And I also wanted to stay at home with my girlfriend and yeah. And have my own schedule. Like not if I don't feel like working one day, I can take a day off without anyone would care about that.
Right.
So yeah, now I have more free time, but
So,
also
go ahead.
I have like days that I draw like from 9 to 11 p.m. So most of the entire day I get up from my chair only to eat and stuff like that.
Right.
But it's still much more relaxing, and I do jobs that I want to do, not jobs that I have to do because if I don't do, I won't get paid. Like now, I'm very happy with what I'm doing. So yeah,
So, are you primarily a concept artist right now, or are you an illustrator?
I think I'm more of an illustrator. Um, in the beginning, I was dreaming to become a concept artist, but I learned like as the time passed by, I learned that I really enjoy more illustration. Concept art is about doing a lot of iterations of the same character to find the perfect one. Also in illustration, this can happen, but in concept art is, uh, I think it's more stressful. You have to always find that new idea, like, and it's very hard after a while. No matter how much you search for inspiration, after a while it gets very hard, and you can get depressed by that. And yeah, I'm a very sensitive guy, and I get really easy depressed. So yeah.
So what are you working on right now then?
Now I'm an illustrator for the game Legend of Cryptids, made by Applebot. It's a company from Japan. It's something similar to Magic the Gathering, except these guys have their compositions vertically. So basically, it's an iPhone game and an Android game, and the character must be visible on the entire screen. So yeah, I do monsters, fairies, stuff like that for them, illustrations basically. And it's really fun. I really enjoy my job now.
Awesome. So, when it comes to artists, then who are your inspirations?
Um, my biggest inspiration right now is Hannes. uh, I keep on saying this, like every time I have the chance, I can be enough thankful for him existing and doing what he did. Like, I think I'm not the only one inspired by him.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Also, Dave, Yana, Marco, and a lot of guys. Scott Robertson, Neville Page, Dylan Cole. Man, there are a lot. And also, like I have buddies from Crimson Daggers that I started with, and they're a big inspiration to me. Like PK Mike, Jean, Sam, Miles, you, Marius, who else? Sigbrush is a good friend of mine also, and it's an inspiration to see how much he works. Melanie, we mustn't forget about Isra and Brent. Those two are crazy good. So yeah.
Cool. So what advice would you give to someone who is maybe just finishing high school or in college and maybe they're unhappy, like the way you were unhappy doing mathematics? What advice would you give to them if they're thinking about maybe moving into a field like art?
Uh, Draw as much as you can, and draw what you like, because if you draw what you don't like, you will end up doing a job that you don't like. So yeah, that's what I avoided when I quit mathematics and informatics. Getting a job that I don't like, and getting a job, it's for the rest of your life in the end. You will have to deal with that till you die. So better do something that you like and than something that you don't like. Also, be surrounded by inspirational people. Like find your favorite artists, talk to them, try to copy them, like imitate them, and try to overcome them. If somebody does 100 hands, do 150 hands and kick their asses. So yeah, that's the way you I think you get at the top, like being surrounded by motivational people and working really hard and doing what you like.
Awesome. Well, I want to
Yeah.
thank you so much for spending time and sharing your insights. And
Yeah, I hope they help. Like, and I hope I didn't sound stupid because
no, not
it's
at
the
all.
first interview, and I think I'm a bit nervous, but yeah.
Well, I'm sure you'll get a lot more interviews in the future. So, yeah. So, thanks, Alex, and thanks everyone
Well,
who
thanks for
watched.
having me. It's an honor. Like, also another fun story. When I started drawing, I was watching Sycra videos, guys. So yeah, it was like a shock when I actually talked the first time with him, because it for me it was one of those guys that I will never talk, like, because he's so great. So yeah, I was like, whoa, I'm talking to Sycra.
And now
So
the
yeah,
tables have turned. All right.
no, they haven't. Like, you're an amazing guy.
No. All right. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye.